What's up? It's your boy here. Oh man, I kind of gotta watch how I do this. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll do it this way. When Death Row Records decided to transition into a new imprint, which is called the Row, which means Death Row Records still exists. They just not gonna be using Death Row Records because normally it has like a bad stigma or whatever. So you just rename it, repackage it, and put it out with a new name under the same umbrella. Just call it what it is, and that's the Row. Death Row's back. So they put out a lot of different artists at that time. Now, C. Dolores Tucker was leading the charge against Death Row Records and trying to destroy it because she was mad at Suge Knight. Suge Knight blocked her $80 million deal. She was going to be in charge of making this record label where she monitored the type of dialogue they used and made sure that she was going to police everything. See, the politicians at the time had gotten into Time Warner. So they snatched Interscope up and all these other labels, and Jimmy Iovine needed the label back signed to him and Mr. Fields. And it was going to go back to them unless she was going to get Suge Knight to sign on to go along with this deal. And Suge didn't show up. And once he didn't show up, they decided to give Interscope back to Jimmy Iovine and Mr. Fields. So she felt slighted. And so she made it her lifelong duty to go after Suge Knight. Now, she wasn't alone. She had a lot of help. Because Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, Dan Quayle, who's just, he's just a tool in the process of what they were trying to do. But here it is. You had Dan Quayle, who's the vice president of the United States, raining down on it. So Sire Records, ended up like, look, we finna go defunct, or we're gonna have to cut, our artists loose. Now, Suge Knight was getting ready to transition, not just doing music anymore. They reached a deal with Jimmy Iovine and everybody else who was involved with Tupac's mother, and they got the release of Tupac's album and his music. You got To the End of Time, you got Better Days, and those were collaborative. Between the two record labels, they was able to come to an understanding so they can get those records released. Now, those sold millions of copies. Now, Death Row is still in position. But here's the problem. It's that back catalog. And Interscope want to get their hands on it, and they don't want Suge to get back in power to where he was before. They can't risk that. So they start sabotaging the company. Every time Suge was trying to get somebody, they was trying to find a way to, to sabotage him and get him caught up on cases and all this other stuff, so that he would slip up. And then they try to incarcerate him and take away things from him every time, and have his artists caught up in limbo. When Suge was out, his artists was eating. I don't know why people think that they weren't. They were eaten and treated better than 90% of these artists who had records out. They had money coming in. They had things paid for. They had cars. They had apartments. They had homes, like condos. They had everything for them laid out. Stuff that these other record labels weren't even doing for you. See, a lot of people don't even know a lot of stuff about this industry, man, and they just paint Suge as the boogeyman. Not saying that he wasn't at times, but he was the boogeyman when he had to be. But sometimes it just went too far. Like, it's like, calm down. Like, it was a situation where, some of these artists, y'all don't understand. They try to get slick. This guy signed a publishing deal already, and talking about some, nah, I ain't signed nothing. I ain't with no artist. I ain't with nobody. And he was like, nah, man, I got this demo, man. I ain't got no contract with nobody. He's like, you sure? You ain't had no deals with nobody. You never sat in the office and told them verbally or anything or signed any contract. No paperwork with no artist. Man, I ain't got no deal with nobody, man. I'm the row or nothing. So Suge had his back. Now, had he been honest with Suge, this situation would have been resolved another way. Had he just told him, look, man, I signed with somebody. I think so. I maybe was drunk. I don't even know what I signed. But yeah, I did think I was going to get a deal. But can you help me get out of it? But by saying no, Suge sitting over there fighting for his artists. He's like, they just trying to steal my artists. Not knowing they had paperwork on this dude. And not only did they put a cease and desist on an album that this artist then did and worked on. That means all the other projects that this person then rapped on, now they got to get a percentage of that. Now they in Suge's pockets, and you ain't generating no money now. So this artist had to get, dealt with in a certain way. But is that Suge's fault, or is that artist's fault? An artist's fault. Then here come another artist who decided they wanted to try to dictate terms and on when they want to get stuff done and how they want to do stuff and how they want to move. And they playing games. They went and got another deal over here based off Suge's idea. They went and got their copyright license someplace else, then tried to come and get extra money off Suge for another project. It's like, I just need you to back me. And when I get my publishing deal, that's that copyright publishing deal, it's like, I'm going to get me a publishing deal over here. Then I'm going to come back and hit you off with a little something over here, but I ain't going to owe you nothing, basically. It's just saying, I'm going to just owe you what you gave me and pay you that back, but you ain't going to make no money off me. That's how I could make it, explain it a little better for you guys to understand how that process worked. And it's like, then why am I putting you in a position? Because if you'd have told me that up front, I'd have just said, I'm not giving you anything. And he knew that. So that's why he lied and put himself in a position so that he can go over there and get a publishing deal, then come back and get some, like, here your money, boom, 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 boom. Now we done. I don't owe you nothing. And it was like, whoa, so you used me. You see, it's a lot of stuff that was going on that a lot of people didn't know anything about. So those people had to get dealt with in a situation where they had to get dealt with. And then here comes the intervention with Jimmy Iovine leaning on the record label. And behind the door, he's playing I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything about it. I'll just sign an artist. I'll just run a record label. And Suge compared him to the devil. I think they think they try to play me because they know the road. We come back big and stronger than ever, baby. That's how we do it over here. You know what I'm saying? We keep it West Coast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like Chucky, like Child's Play. Yeah, Chucky's back. Yeah, the road is back. Death Row's back. And they know they ain't gonna be able to take us out of position. See, we part of history. And when you part of history, people always want to try to hold you down. But you can't take away what's history. But yet, you got Puffy out here dancing, getting on the plaques, get a walk on the Hall of Fame, and all that stuff. He a dancer. That's all he is, a dancer. He ain't no manager. Now, if I come in on the project, I'm going to want at least 13% off the top. I mean, he'll come in with a whole thing, but he did not like Puffy one bit. He always go back to Puffy being a dancer, and that's all he is. He lost some type of award. You ever see them give me a award? They ever say best producer, Suge Knight? They don't ever say that. I done accomplished way more than Puffy. This man ain't sold no records like me. But it's alright though. I'm a gangster. I don't care about all that. But how he get awards and plaques over the artists, and he a dancer. So anyway, Jimmy Iovine got in the way, and they had a secret meeting where they can have a discussion at a party. And Suge was trying to, be more out and open where people can see Suge is out, I'm not caught up in all that stuff no more. I let all that stuff go. I'm good with everybody. It was one of those things. And he had an album he's going to put out that got Jay-Z on it. They shook down Jay-Z, shook him like a tree. Like, yeah, Jay, I got this album, this Death Row album coming out. I'm going to need a song from you so you can put it on that album for the good price of on the house. So Jay was in line. Ja Rule was on there full steam ahead, and he was coming back because Ja had protection on the West Coast like crazy back then. And Jay-Z needed that protection, and he tried to go by, like, I'm cool with Dre, so I don't need nothing. Like, Dre held weight down there, and he found out the hard way. Now, after this, when Death Row was getting ready for their resurgence, Suge was doing the smarter things as a business-wise. He was putting out, like, comedy movies and signing comedians like Eddie Griffin. He put out the Dysfunctional Family. They produced that. Put out Eddie Griffin. They was trying to get other stuff. They kept getting blocked by Interscope. They kept getting blocked and caught up with all this red tape. So it's becoming more of a headache to do this. So now he's thinking, okay, let's fall back. We can't get our projects released. Nobody want to put it out. We can't get distribution. We can't get any type of marketing. Nobody wants to deal with us. So this is how we gonna play it. We gonna switch the game up. So Suge went into like sports management. Basically an extortion deal. But he was working with Al Heyman, Mr. Prince, a couple other people, and this is when, me and Big Suge started, we was cool. We tight. So all of this is going on, right? There's a certain thing with the reality show girls, the management program, and the people wanted us to manage them. Like, so these girls are reality show girls, and they don't really know nothing about the game. They just like, I came from nothing, now I'm on a reality show. And they have no representation. They have no manager. Most of them were strippers. Here comes Suge. See, what y'all need is, y'all need the right support system. See, y'all ain't got no support system with you right now. See, if I came in the meeting with you, you already had a job. See, I gotta wait out here in the hall, do all that stuff. I know these guys. I can get you on the show. See, I can get you things out here in L.A. And at that time, yes, he could. Snap his hand, it's done. So, and people didn't think he still had that power then. And this is like 10 years ago. So, he's on the scene, and the manager of the reality show came out, right? And he was like, we were at the Mondelein Bay. He grabs him, I need to talk to you for a minute. He whispered in his ear. He had the stogie in one hand, whispered to him in his ear, and the guy was like, "Which one?" "This right here. This is my client. Yeah, she tried out for the show." He was like, "Oh, okay. Tell her to call me Monday. She's in." Oh man. So Suge was in a lot of people's pockets back then, man. And I mean, in the entertainment field. And somebody started complaining, like, Suge is leaning on me. We got to get rid of Suge. You know, he kind of hovering over me like I owe him something. I know he probably finna come for something. And then people was like, man, can somebody get Suge off my artist? And, you know, and all he's leaning on there, he's getting into this sports management thing a little too heavy. You know, and Suge just like, I'm just here to admire them. I'm just here to see the fights. Like anybody else. And they was like, man, something to go on, man. I don't know what Suge doing here. But Suge was doing his thing. He was a businessman. He was looking at the opportunities. And he trying to see which position he finna go in. Now, when Suge made the position to try to go into sports management, and him and Jay Prince, all these other guys, they was gonna get a record label themselves and try to get a distribution in where they could start distributing stuff. But you got the FBI coming after them. You got all these people investigating Suge Knight for all kind of craziness. He can't really move and operate. So the government been on him forever. And standing on him for the smallest little things. And I'm saying, like, in the end, everybody who was on death row besides Dr. Dre, well, I guess you could say Snoop, but Snoop didn't make his money there, and neither did Dr. Dre. They didn't make anything from death row. They made their legacy and their name off death row music, but their money came elsewhere. Snoop made more money with No Limit Records than he did when he was at death row. He got a lot of gifts, but he had a trial that had to be paid for. He had a lot of lawyers and stuff that had to be paid for. That was millions of dollars for that trial. So that's where a lot of his money went. Then you look at other situations. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre forfeited a lot of his money over in publishing just so he can get out of death row. So that's what happened to Dre. He was part owner. But he had all these contract issues with Eazy-E and Ruthless Records. They couldn't say produced by Dr. Dre. Because if Ruthless Records had Dr. Dre under the title of executive producer too. He wasn't just signed as an artist. He was signed as an executive producer. So whenever he's the executive producer or something, he has to get credit to Eazy-E. That's why it says executive producer Suge Knight. Mixed by Dr. Dre. Mixed by Dr. Dre. Never say produced by Dr. Dre. If it does, then that means Eazy-E's eating. But when it says produced or mixed by, you know, he had to let it slide. That's why you didn't get another Dr. Dre album. They want to wait until that expired with Eazy-E. So the Chronic he got to eat off of. A lot of different trickery was done to try to minimize paying Eazy-E that money back. Now, the only people that made multi-millions of dollars and was able to keep it were Ted Fields and his family, Jimmy Iovine and his. Everybody else is either dead, in jail, or broke. I mean, nobody is saying that, look, I'm eating because of death row. Their legacy and what they started, yes. But the only two people standing was Jimmy Iovine and the Fields. The two rich white guys who kicked it off. But the bad guy in the whole mix was Suge Knight. That's what they want to portray to you. I'm not sitting here, people are like, man, you always defended Suge. I'm like, look, man, I just call it the way I seen it. Because you guys, only thing you guys know of Suge is what you seen on television. Unless you done been around this man, hung out with this man, you would know it's a whole different person inside of him. You don't get $100 million business. I mean, $100 million a year business just being some thug from the street. That just don't happen. He just hustled. He knew how to hustle and he just extorted everybody. You don't get $100 million business that way. You have to have some smarts. You have to be intelligent. You have to know how the business is ran. You got to know how to make decisions, when to make decisions, how to defer, and everything, man. It's not like just snapping your fingers and you got money. It just don't happen that way. Like, I'm going to throw you off this bridge if I don't get no money from you. No. It don't work like that. But I'm out. Don't forget to subscribe to the videos and all that stuff. I'm out.